Hello guys, Justin with Ready Business Systems, and this is video 9 of Service Autopilot versus Copilot. So on the last video, we left off regarding some aerial measurements for properties. We're looking at that feature and running into some issues and some dates on packages and estimate issues. And then we were going to go through the marketing menu and explore that. So I got some feedback from Parker here. Again, customer service has been good, I would say. It's not fast per se. It takes about a day for me to get this information back, but that's okay right now, as long as it's not an emergency, and they may have call options, but this is working. We're sending videos back and forth. I send him videos with issues, and he's sending me videos back with some solutions or lack thereof, whatever the case may be. So I'm going to go through here first, these property measurements. It's still not great, but I'll show you how he showed me it's supposed to work. It's kind of finicky, just like Service Autopilot. Their property measurement tool isn't great, and it's kind of the same in this instance. So what we have to do is select a customer. So again, we'll do that example one we've been using, which is our shop address here. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to delete these existing measurements we have so we can start from scratch. So first we have to click property, right? So it's finicky the way you do this. So then we're going to measure. Sorry, I couldn't see the line there. So property, right? I'm just doing this real quick and dirty because it really is not that important. Property, and then we're going to click building if we want to subtract it, and we're going to go like this. Again, just quick and dirty. Show you how it works. Okay, so we got 44,000 square feet for the property, and the building we have 15,000 square feet. So then I guess you do this, you do building, and you do subtract from property. Right, so it says 44, it should go down. Okay, so it went to 29. Okay, and it's still saying the whole property is 44,000 because it subtracted it there, which is sum of these two. So it's doing the property less the building plus the building. So it's still showing us like the lot size here, essentially. Because we subtracted the square, we got the lot square footage here, and then we subtracted the building, and then it's adding the building back. So it's giving us that 44. So if I do save measurements to property, and then we go over to the property here, we're going to get the square footage, which is saved down here. So we have the lot square footage. So, you know, depending on how you use these numbers, and there may be more ways to explore that map feature. I'm not going to dig any further than that. But there is a tool there to measure some square footage and save it. And it's saying lawn size, it's really lot size. And again, this number here, I guess you could then, you know, they don't have their feature out yet for estimating, but I have to assume that this number is going to be used in their rate matrices. So, excuse me. Then I guess you could use your little service calculators here if you wanted to, or personally, I would just use a spreadsheet like I showed you in the last video because these are very basic. If you don't have a spreadsheet, you know, I guess you can use these, but I'd personally just make a big crazy Excel spreadsheet to work with this is what I would do until they have a solution. And my opinion this far, you know, am I ready to switch? No. I guess that's my opinion so far. And when they do come out with the rate matrix, obviously it's going to have issues, right? Like it's not going to be complete, I would have to assume. But we're only just getting our toes wet in the software. But at the moment, there's some major missing functionality that I depend on, like the waiting list and the rate matrices and the templates. So at this moment in time, I am not sold on making a switch over. I do think that they're onto something good. I'll say that. Anyway, so moving forward, so the estimates, right? So the other thing that Parker confirmed with me is, and I think it's under, it's under sales, right? Finances, estimates. So we would have to, so there's no way to quote a multi-step estimate here, first test estimate edit. So again, these packages under, and they're under schedule for some reason, these multi-step packages, but you can't access these from the client screen for whatever reason, which you should be able to, in my opinion. Multi-step program, sorry. So we do have these, and this is what you would want to use for, so it is kind of what I kind of figured how it was going to work in the last video. So these multi-step programs, these are for scheduling purposes, because you have dates and everything that are inserted in there. But they're not gonna, you can't put that on a proposal. You can't put a multi-step program on a proposal. So you would have to create both a package and a multi-step program with the same thing. So right now, I believe we have a fertilizing program set up as a multi-step program, but then under our packages is where we have a spring cleanup package, if you've been following these videos. So we would need to have a fertilizing program both listed in multi-step programs and listed inside of the packages, because we would quote with a package and then we would schedule with a multi-step program. So that's kind of confusing, but it's workable, right? That wouldn't be the end of the world to do that. So here we have quoted, so as you can see, this is the spring cleanup we have, and I built this quote by adding a package here, but I can't add a multi-step program. So I'd have to create the fertilizing program again as a multi-step program to add it to this estimate if I wanted to be able to quote that. And again, there's no rate matrices in there. There's defaults you can stick in here, but you would need to use an Excel spreadsheet for pricing. So that's kind of going backwards in some ways. So I'm very curious to explore their estimate, their rate matrix when it does come out, because at the moment, you know, that was something I used to have to do in Excel before we used Service Autopilot, but now I don't have to do that to reference Excel to get the numbers for prices. Especially if you have more than one salesperson at your company, you're not going to want to, you know, you're going to need to standardize that somehow, and you're going to want to have them reference a spreadsheet. It is workable, but it's kind of backwards. And I guess if you want to, you can use a spreadsheet. And then when they have the, you know, when they do have rate matrices available for pricing on estimates, you could then carry that information over, and it wouldn't be very hard to do that. And if you're like me, you probably already have, you know, there in Service Autopilot, there's no way to build out that pricing. So you must have probably in a spreadsheet somewhere, you probably have your pricing already built out. So you could reference that kind of like I have. The other thing is these dates, this is just a small detail, but I had showed you how it's always going to be 30 days. That's just the way it works. And Parker verified that. So when you go to schedule these multi-step programs like this fertilizing one, it's going to reference whatever dates you have in here. So it says 30 days between visits, where it says somewhere, it's going to always schedule it out 30 days. So yes, you would need to not put 30 days. Let me reference my package over here. Actually, I have 30 days. You would not put 30 days here because you don't want to have to wait. You're going to have to change your dates between visits, basically, because it's always going to reference this. So if you say your first start date, like in my example, I put a start date of April 1st, like it says on here, but then it actually scheduled it for May 1st because it waited 30 days. So I need to set up this package so that this date is not await 30 days in the settings there. So that's not a huge deal, just something that we had to learn by trial and error here. All right, so I think I covered all the issues from last time. So now we're going to explore this marketing menu. So right here. So marketing menu, automations, emails, text, store, documents, visit forms, notes, marketplace. All right, upsells. Interesting. All right, so going through this live again. I may have poked through these, but very, very lightly. Upsells. You haven't entered any upsells yet. Okay, automations. Okay, so it looks like I'm assuming these same tabs you can access here. So automations, email templates, must be under templates. Text message templates. I don't know if that's under text or what, but it looks like automation history. So maybe this isn't all the same things, but it looks like there's multiple ways to access this menu. New upsell. Add new upsell. Send email. Select email template. What if there's an upsell in here? All right, we'll just try one of these ones that's in here. Your property's been serviced. Send email, send text. It says text template, new estimate. Save upsell. Okay, enter a name. Didn't give me an error there. Test upsell 1. Save upsell. Okay. So I don't know how this works. I assume that this is you can add this from the client level. Let's see. Back in my demo account here, I just searched for upsell. I'm not seeing anything here, so I don't know what I do once I create this upsell in here. Yeah, so okay, we built an upsell. So what do we do with that? I don't know. All right, I will add that to my list to ask Parker for next time. I'm not going to waste my time or your time trying to figure this out when it's not really obvious off the bat. So just jotting a note down here. All right, cool. Marketplace. I did poke in here. It was interesting. So it looks like we have simple growth in here. They must be a vendor. They got a test in the marketplace. Looks like they're working on their automation here. Looks like Copilot has some internal ones, send upsell. Augusta Lawns, so the guy that is a partner on Copilot owns Augusta Lawns franchise. So it looks like he's using the software in here. Set up services, 38 downloads. So they probably are using it. So there's obviously a marketplace in Autopilot too. I can show you here. So we got the marketplace here. So pretty similar, right? We post stuff on here as well. So I got a marketplace, download. I'm not going to click this. I assume they need a code or something because this is a franchise and I'm just going to let people download this. Let me try actually. What happens? Download. Yeah. So same thing, download codes, right? So we have the same thing here. There's download codes for all the automations. So yeah, I don't know how these download. I don't know how this works. Eventually, I'm sure we'll get set up as a vendor in here as well and be able to post this marketplace. But presumably, you can download stuff just like you can Service Autopilot. So I'm not going to dig too much deeper there. But it looks like they do have a marketplace, so that's cool. Moving on, notes. Okay, so I don't know why this is under marketing. Doesn't look like it would really make sense to be in here as a marketing item, but okay. And it looks like this is just adding, this is where I put in test notes in this property. So it looks like this just accumulates that stuff. It's a searchable database for all your notes for all your clients, I'm guessing. And it looks like you can filter them here. Visit forms. Okay. So forms, cool. So obviously we have forms in Autopilot, and honestly, I think they're pretty good in here. You know, Autopilot has their good and their bad features. And they have an old version, new version, V2. And honestly, the V2 forms are pretty nice now. There are some shortfalls here, but generally they're pretty nice forms. And they work pretty well. So let's see what happens here. New form. That's cool, except signature. That's not an option that we have on Autopilot forms, except for the estimates. But you can't add them in the form section. Automatically attach to new visits events. Okay, so this looks like a pro and this looks like a con, only because with Autopilot you can add visits to. There's a lot more options here for adding forms. You can choose where you want to display these forms in Autopilot, where you want to pop up, and or it's under publish, form options, mobile. you can have it attached to all different things. All different services. So it's much more customizable. That being said, it looks like I just saved that. But that being said, Autopilot, again, I think they're a big downfall for them is that they become so big and they have so much code in there. People are using old versions of forms, new versions of forms, old version of the app, new version of the app. And that's definitely problematic because they can't possibly keep everything up to date. All the old functionality, the V1 forms, the V3 forms, they can't keep this stuff all working as the software grows and develops because people are still using the old ones. So, they've had this team app for a long time now that only works with their new app, with V3 forms, but then the V3 app, the Teams app, they have the Service Autopilot app and the Service Autopilot Teams app. The Teams app works with the V3 forms, but the V2 forms only work with the Service Autopilot app. That being said, the V3 forms are better, but the V3 app is not there yet, in my opinion, the Teams app. So you can't really use these forms with the new app. You have to use the old forms if you want to use the app that works better. Some people do use Teams, but last I checked and what I've heard, it's not really up to speed yet. So that's a shortfall. Whereas Copilot, since it's new software, they don't have, they may eventually be in the same position where they now have a new version of the app gets all sloppy, but Autopilot's been around for over a decade now. So, Copilot may not have that problem for another decade or so if they have that problem or find another way to solve it. But long story short, that's a downfall for Autopilot. So let's put a test in here. Test form 1, section names, do test section 1, add new section. Short text, I see. Long text, checkbox. Checkbox 1. Add new checkbox. Checkbox. Box 1. Checkbox. Box 2. All right, we got a long field. Test long field. And then let's do one other thing. We'll do a drop down. It's a question test drop down. Test option 1, and then we'll do a test option 2. And save form, add new section. Okay. Preview. Yeah. All right. So as you would expect, right? It's a little form builder here. So let's save this form and then so where is this form used in the system? So automatically attach to new visit event. I'm going to leave this checked off so when we test the app, we can try out this form. So again, it looks like this has to be attached to every new visit. And I don't know, maybe you can use this inside the documents and we'll get there and we'll check that out. So, all right, we checked out the forms, documents. So this is where we can see if we can put a form in a document, right? Documents and document templates. So here's an example, right? We'll do follow up on proposal, edit. So I'm going to guess that we can attach a form here. Let's see. Try adding it down here. Insert customer company info. All right, so form. Let's see if there's form option here. Work request form. All right, so curious where forms go in the system. I'm going to ask Parker that as well. Forms and system. So I'm not seeing other options here for, I'm not seeing that form I built as an option. Customer. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I'm seeing like their work request form, but I'm not seeing where I can use that form outside of attaching to a visit. Can we send these forms to clients? because in Autopilot you can email these forms to clients, and that is powerful. And maybe they're going to update that, but I don't see a way to do that at the moment. Being able to attach forms and email them to customers. Maybe there's a way inside the client account, send form. Let's see, send email, text message, documents, images, automations. See, I'm not seeing a way to attach a form here. Create new, yeah. So I'm not seeing anything like that. All right. So I will ask about that feature. Visit forms. All right, documents. So we did explore that. Yeah, that's what we're just on, documents. So we have templates. We can create templates here. Contract, payment past due, create documents. So it looks like we can create documents, add. And there's a paragraph quotes. I don't know if there's maybe a form here, embed, table, image, paragraph. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything about a form. But you can create custom emails, and it looks like we do have some options here for customization, cell phone number, website. I'm not seeing anything like account balance. Okay, there is account balance. All right, invoice number, credit card, add link, review page. This must be in the settings somewhere for the company website. All right, so we do have some options here. It looks like the email templates are up to speed, I would say, for the most part, except for the lack of being able to put the forms in here. So we'll find out about that. Store. So store. Okay, this is where you would buy stamps, because we discovered that we can email. We can put in regular mail invoices and estimates. In Service Autopilot, you can only mail invoices. You cannot mail estimates. That's not a feature. So it is nice you can do both. Although on the other hand, I'm not sure about you guys, but for us, we don't mail a lot of estimates. Although that would be nice. If we had that ability, we may do that, just because it's just another way to follow up with people on their estimates by sending them the estimate in the mail as a paper form. And these days, there's not a lot of mail in general, correspondence. So you would stand out by actually giving them a mailed proposal. So I would use that feature if we had that in Autopilot, and I would use it if we had it in here, because I think I would just send it both ways, because I think it serves as a good estimate follow-up, especially because you email the estimate the first day and then they're going to get it in the mail a couple days later. So that is a nice feature. But apparently this is just where you buy, and it looks like you buy the stamps and the envelope separately. I don't know why they wouldn't just include it in this price, but whatever. Stamps, so $1.69 each, probably about the same price as stamps in Autopilot. Account and billing, I believe it's under, but not a huge deal. But I think it's gone up, and it's something that used to be like $1 invoice stamps, so as low as 99 cents if you purchase a certain amount. So it looks like they're a little bit cheaper. Something to note there. All right, text. So send text messages history. It looks like you can send the messages right from here. There are templates, error log. Okay, so it's nice. It's kind of grouped together here. So text messages, message history, send messages. Okay, so this isn't doing anything when I click on text messages. Send text messages. I assume this would be like a cumulative history of all the text messages. Text message templates, feedback request. Yeah, so they just have same thing. We got text message templates, and we have the email templates. So they're both here. I do prefer their organization versus Autopilot. In Autopilot, you got to go to documents, and you got to filter for if it's a text message or not. This is just a cleaner way to access them, I think. So I do think overall Autopilot is better organization. Copilot is better organization. Cool. So then we have emails, system groups, custom groups. I do like this. I saw this somewhere in their demo. I do like that we can, again, it's organization, right? We have these grouped together. We can create groups of, I've seen this somewhere, like employees, right? Add custom group. And then you can add people here. So yeah, that's cool. So you can create the custom groups. The only thing is here, like what I haven't seen in the system yet is tags. I don't know how to close out of this screen. I guess I'll just try refreshing. It'd be nice if tags in general are very powerful. And I haven't seen tags anywhere in the system. I'm going to ask about that as well to Parker, because although you can create these custom groups, are you going to have to add a client every single time you get a new client? Or are you going to have to add them to this custom group list? Like if you have a group of customers who are on the fertilizing program, you have to add them every single time, because that's not very convenient, right? Select okay, forms. Select documents, invoice, estimates, forms. Okay, I guess I accidentally hopped over the emails again. That's fine. So customer groups. So it looks like these custom groups, that's the one that I just tried making there. Employees was my example that I was talking about having to add them to. But we also have these systems groups. So it looks like they have some kind of pre-tagged, like inactive customers. Okay, cool. It looks like they have a short list of pre-built groups that you can send to. But as an example, again, if I want to send only fertilizing clients, how do I do that? I don't see a list here for fertilizing clients. They have certain ones they put in. And if we want a custom group, we have to manually update that as far as I can see each time that you get a new fertilizing customer or something like that. This is their document builder, and it looks very, very similar to the document builder in Autopilot. I can show you what that looks like. So as you can see, it looks suspiciously similar to the document editor that we have here in Autopilot. I don't know if they use some third-party software to bring this in, but it looks alarmingly similar to what we have available for the document editor for Autopilot. Like, look at this button, and look at the button here. It's like literally the same thing. It has a mobile view, so I don't know where they got this code from. I don't know if it's like a publicly available third-party software, but it looks like they're using the exact same document editor, which does work pretty well. So, and it's pretty user-friendly. It's not awesome, but it works pretty well. I'd say it's one of their better features here. Back to where these forms work in the system, I'm trying to click on this this test form we made here. I'm clicking on it, and it doesn't seem to be really doing anything. Sample client 1, add. Guess let's try one of these. So it's going to preload that document, right? And then how does this form feature work, right? I'm not seeing a way to add this form. So I'd like to know how we send these forms to clients, because it looks like it's supposed to be a feature. So yeah. All right, well, I'm going to stop here, and I'm going to get those questions answered regarding the upsell campaigns, where those are in the system, how these forms work, and if there's any sort of tagging criteria. On the next video, I will explore these automations, which is something I am excited about because of the Zapier integration. But yeah, this looks like a good stopping point. So I will catch you guys next time, and thanks for watching.